Record. We're going live. We're live with Heart Talks. Heart Talks with Sheila Sistar. And Sheena.
I keep asking for Marvin Gaye. I don't know why we keep getting this song.
It's so sweet song. It's our quirky sense of humor. Even though I can't see you, I can feel you, darling.
Welcome to Heart Talks, everybody. Again, we're our normal giddy selves trying to get through tech issues, and every show it seems to be something, and boy, we're determined we're going to get this show in one way or the other. Welcome, Sheena. Welcome again. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you for a week. It's been an amazing week for me personally. I just want to mention before we get started here, I'm just over the top with getting this right now, because ever since the Keegan Reid show with the Forest People, I have had contact, I have photos, and I have gifts, and that whole gig is still just flowing, and I am overwhelmed, just overwhelmed with excitement over what is going on there. And today I wanted to see if Sheena could talk a little bit about Avalon. For the last a good couple of months, the word Avalon has just come up over and over and over again, and also the sisterhood that I have seems to be stronger and stronger. And when we gather, I feel this deep, ancient awakening within me. And I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about that today.
Absolutely, I'd love to. I always love talking about Avalon. Well, I just want to play something very quickly for you on my crystal lyre. It's just a few notes. I won't be a moment, and we'll just open that lovely energy. There you go. So we're just tuning the energy. Now, ask me your first question, darling. Or would you just like me to start?
Yes, just start. We don't have a real long show today, so let's talk about that.
Sure. Well, Avalon is the same as anything else. It has different planes of existence. And Avalon is held by an angelic being called a plethora. A plethora is a similar being that held the space for us, which was Atlantis. The best way to describe a plethora, it's an enormous being, and we exist inside this being. It creates a space. It's like a mothership, but it's actually a consciousness. It's a being. Now, there is a great plethora on the planet called the Delphi. Now, the plethora that held Avalon is an aspect of the Delphi, or one of her children, and they are direct linked to the source, because if we were to directly link to the source in this current human form, we would no longer exist. We would ascend. So the plethora that holds Avalon is still active but dormant in this age of mankind, but is reactivating, if that makes sense. Now, within Avalon itself, it has many planes of existence, the same as on the earth. So there is an elven realm, the halls of the elven halls within Avalon. There are the angelic Avalon. There is the druidic Avalon. There's different planes of existence within Avalon herself. Now, in the physical realm here on the earth, Avalon's gateway was held on a little isle in England called Avon. And in ancient times, if you went back and studied a topographic map in ancient times, you will find that that little isle was surrounded by water and had a lake. And we're quite often, our ancient memory, whenever we hear the words, the mists of Avalon, it always strikes something within us. Now, these mists are the elemental mist which allows you to travel through the different gateways into the different planes of existence. Many would travel to the physical Isle of Avalon, and yes, there was sanctuary there. Depending on what level you vibrated at would depend on what level into Avalon you would venture, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Now, the angels of Avalon are a group of incredible beings who work in service to the Mother, Father, God, or the Goddess and the God, as part of the divine plan for the greater good for humanity and the greater good for all. These beings within themselves are independent beings in their own right, and they answer to no one other than the Creator. They're not in service to other masters. They are masters within themselves. So the term Angels of Avalon, you can be from any realm, any dimension. The criteria to be an angel from Avalon is that you not only have to have the heart, but you have to have the strength of heart, and you have to follow a true path. And that is the motto of the Angels of Avalon. And it was given to us by Archangel Michael. The Angels of Avalon are multidimensional beings, and it is a blessing that is earned through your strength of heart. Yeah. So it means we go where angels fear to tread, and that's usually into the illusionary realms that mankind creates in their mind. But the beautiful things that are deep within the earth that are now coming up, and the ancient knowledge is being returned because mankind's consciousness has expanded to such a level that they can conceptualize these things without fear. Science itself is a wonderful teacher, but science still has a lot to learn from spirit. What I call my interpretation of spirit is the metaphysical, because first and foremost we are spiritual, eternal, divine spiritual beings. At the moment we are incarnated and we are in the physical form. Our true nature is metaphysical, and we're having an experience as a human. And so, in that in itself, you're going to be crazy to sign up for a campus, as you know. But Sheila, ask me some questions. The Angels of Avalon are gathering, yes, because we're reopening the priestess and the goddess lines and using the beautiful emerald rejuvenation energy. Yes.
You know, I received a reading from Judith Kusel, which
is beautiful.
Oh my goodness! And when I read that, I could feel the depth of that awaken, and I have been processing for days now. And
isn't it wonderful to have that memory reawakened within you, brought forward into Sheila?
My question to Judith was, how can I best serve as this human self, as this I mean, I can feel myself evolving as we speak. I can feel this simmering up, and although I do not have an understanding of this, I began to just weep whenever she told me that I had this association, and that soon we were going to be able to I guess this is something we have dreamed of doing for so very long.
Well, we had to wait for the right timing for mankind's evolution in their consciousness to expand to a point, and for the old planetary plan to come to resolution or completion before the new plan could start. Everything was planned in Avalon, and everything was planned in Atlantis. there is an Atlantic Avalon, if that makes sense as well. So each thing in its perfect timing, when everyone is able to do this, there's no point in trying to do something when nobody has an understanding of it, and each thing has to evolve accordingly.
Right.
Each soul has the right to evolve, and now the evolution of that has taken place. These beautiful knowledge can be remembered,
Yes.
brought into your current consciousness, in your human conscious mind.
Right.
And it isn't for everyone. There are brothers and sisters who are doing their human journey as human beings, and that is perfectly okay. That is how it should be for them.
Right.
So how to do this is by being Sheila, by doing exactly what you are doing, your beautiful Heart Talk shows, by bringing knowledge, by us speaking and people watching these shows. It sparks a remembrance in them, both your divine essence and our essences and the essences combined with all of our sisters and brothers. When we do these shows, the internet is such an extraordinary thing, because as you and I have this understanding in spirit, there is no distance, there is no time and space.
Okay.
Here in the physical realm, we experience physicality, which includes separation. So using the internet, we are connecting instantly to our sisters and brothers. Most of them we can connect to without the internet. This internet is such a wonderful vehicle to teach others about this connection. You know, I'm sitting in Australia and you're sitting in America. In the spirit, we're one.
That's right.
And here we're connecting through the technology, which is extraordinary. So how you're doing your divine service is by exactly what you are doing as Sheila. You are already doing it. You're sharing knowledge with people that wish to seek this knowledge. There'll be some that will click on our videos and it won't be for them. And there'll be others that are seeking these answers to questions, and their own guardians and guides will guide them, of course, to the shows. So you are sharing this wonderful knowledge with everyone. So that's how you're doing it. And just by you being your beautiful self with your paintings, by experiencing your humanity and your joy in your humanity. I love the flowers that you send every morning. They're not just beautiful pictures to me. You're sending the vibration of these extraordinary pieces of nature that are so exquisite, but within each flower is held, as in each crystal, a divine vibration.
Yes.
And they've got what we call the creation codes. Now, some people call these keys. You have keys to things, and they go, well, what does that mean? I've got a key, I can unlock something. A key is a coding or a vibration within you, and you carry it, and it comes from the heart. Of course, everything divine comes through the heart. And depending on how strong you are or crazy. I won't tell you the other motto of the Avalon, because that one would be censored. It's something like, you've got to be crazy, you're more crazy, and you're crazier, you know. When Archangel Michael gave us the motto, we do have a few jokes about it. He gifted us that. So the Angels of Avalon with the flowers, the symbol for the Angels of Avalon, it is the fleur-de-lis. And the fleur-de-lis was taken from the iris, the water lily, which is the purple and the gold water lily.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of the oldest symbols known to man, and it was one of the earliest symbols found on maps. And it actually points the way north. Of course, I think the famous Sir Baden Powell used the fleur-de-lis for his symbol for the Scouts and the Girl Guides, which was wonderful, because the Scouts and the Guides became leaders within themselves. But the fleur-de-lis, we do wear this in spirit as a symbol. And the colours of the fleur-de-lis are the deep magenta pink for the Sacred Heart, the heart that burns with so much passion and fire and compassion and forgiveness that it's a pink, but it's the deepest pink possible, so it's not quite red, but it looks red. And it is that incredible emerald green, which is the forest green, which is the emerald fire. So these are the colours of the Angels of Avalon, that deep magenta pink and that emerald green combined together. So the symbol with the first petal facing up means a true heart, and then it has its other petals on either side, which means will stand fast and always follow a true path. So a true heart always stands fast and always follows a true path, which means you stand in your heart. You don't deviate from your heart. You stand in your heart with everything that you do, with the strength of knowledge. And it has a reflection, as above, so below. It's reflected within itself. But this symbol came from the original symbol, which was a beautiful angelic cup of knowledge, and then it burst open and the petals opened up and the knowledge fell down and came to earth. So the story of the iris is very, very similar to the lotus. It has the same basis, that we come through the mud, through the water, which is our earth journey, and we rise above the water into the light and we blossom. So it's the journey that we take. So it's a pilgrimage. It's okay, you're very welcome. Yes, so when Michael gave us that motto, it was a beautiful motto. I gave Michael the iris as the symbol, and Michael gave us back the motto. We were all quite chuffed with that. So we gave him the task of giving us our motto. Yay! Michael. Yeah, so that was lovely. It is beautiful to have the Angels of Avalon awakening and gathering within their hearts to bring this emerald fire and to spark up these ancient ley lines and serpent lines and the mounds. And these are where the ancient goddess lines and priestess lines are metaphysically held.
The serpents of the mound. Talk about that briefly.
Again,
the serpents of the mound.
Yes, okay. Best way to describe them is very, very similar to the Aboriginal Dreamtime Rainbow Serpent. The serpent also represents the DNA, the strand of the DNA and the evolution. And, of course, the medical serpents entwined. It's to do with what we call the Draconian lineage, which is the original DNAs. The serpents are about flowing and renewal. A serpent sheds its skin and renews, and it's very interesting. It's one of the few creatures that I know of that even they shed the veil over their eyes. And it is associated with what others call the Kundalini, the awakening energy, the spiraling energy. It is an extraordinary energy. So the serpent is symbolic of rebirth, rebirthing, constantly rebirthing and rejuvenating. The serpents of the mound, within the earth, there are things within the magical realms that are constantly, it's to do with ley lines.
Right.
And they are constantly clearing and cleansing ley lines. If you imagine a serpent running around the earth and constantly running through the ley lines, if that makes sense. The Arcturians tune the ley lines, of course, and where the ley lines cross, the Arcturians will leave you a beautiful sacred geometry within the crossing of two ley lines or the tuning of a ley line. So wherever that there is a crop circle, this is usually the Arcturians saying, yep, tune that one now, next. Occasionally the Angels of Avalon will get out and have a bit of fun and leave like a a real Egyptian head just for fun.
Yes.
Yes. Let's just confuse everybody. Let's put a head there instead. Sorry. Yes. We do occasionally do these sort of things.
Funny universal humor.
Yes, absolutely. We just tuned the Egyptian ley line. Let's not put sacred geometry. Let's put the head of a pharaoh instead. Yes. So let's see what everybody thinks of this one. So, yes, we all do have a sense of humour. You have to. Life is amazing. Being human is the most extraordinary experience. There's nowhere else in the galaxy, the universe, the cosmos, that you can be human except here.
Right.
In Earth.
Right.
Think about that.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the coolest things about my life is that I get to hang out with people like you and like with Judith, and have been able to establish this relationship. And I keep talking about this finale show that we're going to have, where I'm going to bring all you girls, all of us together. And I've said before, it's as if the Sisters of Avalon are gathering again.
We are.
And I am just honored to be in this circle of women who we're making our bond again. We're making our place. We're making our energy being seen and heard. And it's an extremely. I'm trying to contain myself right now because I'm actually bursting.
I'm getting to make me cry, and that's it's the most amazing thing, because with my journey, when Archangel Michael and they all told me, okay, you have to fly to Sydney, your property's not on the internet, you have to find it. There's a human being there who's extraordinarily scary, and I followed the divine guidance, and I'm now in this most amazing, I sit on the ridge of the Great Dividing Range. There's no people around. It's really gorgeous. But I can't be me without you, without all of you. You all allow me to be my divine purpose.
Right. Exactly.
It's the most extraordinary thing. And when they showed me, I said, well, how am I going to survive as a human being? How am I going to do this now? Because I closed my shop, and they asked me how I'd like to do the next part of my journey, because the plan for the planet had finished. And I said, well, I'd love to do both. I'm a grandmother now. I've never been a grandmother in any life, let alone get married and experience other pleasures that you can as a human being. We won't go there. So it was just extraordinary to be not only a mother, but to be a grandmother. And I said I'd like to honour my physical family because I've never been a grandmother. I'd like to be a grandmother and be there and be that lovely purple grandmother for the children.
Purple.
Yes, let's go to Granny's house. Oh, Mum, it's all purple. Yeah. So where I'm going with that story is that to sit here on this mountain, they said to me, I said, how will I make my living? And they showed me the internet, and they showed me connecting and doing all my work on the internet. And I'm not a tech head, as Rachel knows.
That's Rachel's heart.
Yeah, well, it's just the technology hasn't caught up with the angelic ones, and my computer won't do what I tell it to. I have to actually push buttons, and you understand that, Sheila. So, it's like I've given you a telepathic command computer. Why aren't you doing this?
Right?
Even my Jeremy, who designed my app, when I went into the app store and I'm looking at the computer, I'm pressing things and talking to it, he's nudging me, goes, no, Sheena, doesn't work like that. I said, really? I said, it's an apple. They're supposed to be this latest. He said, no, Sheena. And he's giggling. He's laughing his head off. He couldn't contain himself because I was trying to do things that apparently computers don't do in this day. So they showed me all this, and then our beautiful Delia put me in contact with you. And I've just never, I'm in such deep, humble gratitude. And it's actually beginning. We are actually connecting and sending out these wonderful, wonderful videos. And we're having so much fun. But then my friends, my close friends do call me a space cadet. And that I'm out there where the buses don't run, which is absolutely correct.
Oh, my God, that's so funny.
I can't wait for the finale show. And yes, my darling, you are an angel of Avalon, and you have earned that over the centuries, and you do hold the most divine energy, and you spread that love and the light everywhere. And, of course, technology is such a wonderful tool, and it's like anything else. And it's something I wanted to remind people. I got a strong message today to tell them. It's a tool, and it's your tool to use it with discernment.
We're out of time.
I love you. I love you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. I love everybody. I love you, Sheena. Thank you, Rachel. I love you. We'll see you again next week.
Love and good.
From my heart to yours. Namaste.
Namaste.